Hey, everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I am your host, Matt Burke, and today we're going to be having on Mark Bolton. He's talking about his killer new project called Writhe And Payne. So if you guys could give a warm welcome to Mark, that would be awesome. What up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, Matt? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, for sure, man. How's the weather up there, man, over on the East Coast?
It is hot.
It's hot as hell. The night
Yeah, man. And I work outdoors, so yeah, it's been pretty grueling the last couple days.
Oh man. Yeah, it was pretty hot yesterday here. I would say it was like the hottest day of the year so far yesterday here. But I can't complain. I mean, I take lunch when I go to lunch at work. I'm in my car and I'll sit there drawing like trading cards or working on like some drawings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But damn, it was getting pretty hot out there. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm also looking forward to that new horror movie, Last Voyage of the Demeter. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
It sounds familiar. You'll have to refresh me. What is it?
It's based on the like kind of like the best chapter of in Dracula, about when he's coming from Eastern Europe or Wallachia,
Yeah.
Transylvania, to England, Carfax Abbey, and he murders all the people on the ship. So they made a whole movie about just that voyage of the Demeter. So
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, yeah, I do remember seeing that. That looks awesome.
I'm actually gonna go see that in the theater. So I'm pretty excited for it. We'll see. I actually got tickets to go see it, like a free screening, like a year ago, but I just didn't act on it. But yeah, man, yeah, it's crazy. So a lot of people, know who you are. I know who you are. I was wondering maybe if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Been in the comic industry for 17 years. Started in 2006 with my own indie book, Coney Waves. From there, I caught the attention of my hero when I was a teenager, Rob Liefeld, and I started doing some work for Rob at Image/Extreme. And from there, Rob took me over to DC to do Hawkman.
Nice.
And all that time, I was still working on my own stuff with a lot of the people I met from the Rob Liefeld message boards, like John Malin, Anthony George, Mike McMahon, Greg Paulson, Sean Arendt. So we had like these friendships that started like almost 20 years ago, and we're still doing books today. It is crazy. But after the Hawkman thing ran its course, I went back to doing my own stuff. John Malin and we launched a Graveyard Shift back in 2017. And that was sort of like the start of just DIY, doing it ourselves, and taking over the industry. And
Right. Yeah, right. Grabbing your swords and your shields and going full force.
Yeah, so the last I guess the last 6 years, man, have been crazy, just doing everything I've always wanted. I have my own publishing company with my son. He helps me on projects, and I'm working with some of my best friends in John Malin, Mike McMahon, Sean Arendt, Chris Graves, now on Writhe And Payne. So yeah, it's been a fantastic time.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like that's pretty cool too. You get to do publish work with your kid. I'm sure a lot of like creators with kids, like me. I know my son would love that. He always, he'll come in like, oh, Butch Cleaver, like he's in the stuff, and I got him an Iron Man toy that I had him. Like I got all these toys in the garage, and it's like I'll give it to him. He's like, oh, I want that Hulk Buster. I'm like, oh, you can't have that. But yeah, man, that's pretty wild, man. I'd say you're a very productive publisher, man, and writer, and you're also an awesome artist too. You don't really draw that much, though, huh? Like,
no. I mean, I do like drawing, but the time it takes for me to do like something that I'm not afraid to show, I feel like I'd be more productive, writing several scripts or or something. Right. But I have published some pieces of artwork, and I really should. I feel like I should at least like do a trading card or a pin up for each project. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. Like a trading card, pin up,
Hmm.
a cover, something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
solid, man.
I'd like to. I just have to carve out a little piece of time
I can
for
only
that.
imagine what your calendar looks like, man, because you got all these different properties and IPs, and got the universe. You got U.S. Assassin, Viking Wolf, and you got Writhe and Payne. Like there's just so many. Sea Dog and Kill Switch. That's a cool book too. Um, lots of good stuff, man. They're all fun. Um, some of your artistic people that you like maybe were inspired by. Do you maybe want to share with us some of those inspirations? Some of those
Oh,
cats.
sure. I mean, I grew up a Rob Liefeld fan. I didn't want to be a writer. I wanted to be a comic book artist.
Yeah.
Rob was like that guy. I was like, he's not a comic book artist. He's like a superstar. He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I just thought he was the coolest. So I loved that extreme style. So I followed him, Marat Michaels, Dan Fraga, um, Michael Turner, Jim Lee. Um, so like those early Image guys, I
Yeah.
just ate everything up that they were doing. So that's like what I was trying to uh, do. Like now my style is more, I don't know, not as like crosshatchy and detailed as their work. I think maybe I've become more of a cartoonist than a than a comic book artist.
Well, that's cool though too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird, man. Like everybody's got their own thing, the way they do the book, and the way
Hmm.
the interior art is, and we all love the different styles. But too, like at the end of the day, like kind of started as a cartoon strip, right? And it's just kind of like about telling the story sometimes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't have to have too much detail, but sometimes you do it. I mean, it's just different. As long as you're getting the the point across. I keep thinking the Calvin and Hobbes creator. His art was pretty
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, we got a red dress. What's up, Chris?
Red
How you
dress.
doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, all those guys are badass. I enjoy all their work. Um, I also was wondering too, as far as your like, written inspirations, your literary inspirations. Who are some people that really like inspired you, like coming up, and still, is there something you'd like to share with us about
Yeah.
that?
So I got my start in writing. I wanted to do comic books, but when I started out, late '90s, early 2000s, it was kind of a mystery how to break into comics. Although looking back now, it was like so obvious. It was right in front of me. You just make your own comic book.
Yeah,
But back then, like I would ask, you know, I would go to conventions, ask pros, ask publishers, and it was like a secret. They wouldn't tell me what to do.
right.
Meanwhile, I'm a huge movie fan, and
Yeah,
guys like Kevin Smith and Robert Rodriguez, they're writing books telling you, "Hey, I made it. You can do it too. Here's
yeah,
how I did it."
right.
So, like as far as writers, Robert Rodriguez, he put out a book called Rebel Without a Crew, which
I've heard of
is
that.
it's probably like the book that had the biggest impact
Mhm.
on me, and it was about how he made El Mariachi for like no money, and I just found it so inspirational. And I just followed his blueprint of I was writing screenplays. I was writing teen comedies because that's at the time. 90s was huge with teen comedies. Like you had the whole cast of American Pie. They were
Yeah,
all stars
Buffy
and
and stuff.
yeah, I wrote a screenplay about my first girlfriend dumping me called "Give
Mm.
Me Back My Stuff," and
That's a good
and
one.
I followed like basically the blueprint that Robert Rodriguez and Kevin Smith put in their books, reaching out to all the different production companies, and I optioned a screenplay.
Oh, nice.
Like some nobody out in New Jersey in his early to mid 20s optioned a screenplay, and I was like, "This is crazy." And
That's cool, man.
the producer, um, his name was Zane Levitt. He produced a Drew Barrymore movie called Gun Crazy. He
Mm.
did a kids movie called Shiloh. But the thing that really like
I
sealed
heard
the
of
deal
Shiloh.
for me, he did the live action version of Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
starring Gary Daniels and Chris Penn and Vader from pro wrestling.
Yeah, dude. I remember that. I never seen it though, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out later. But
So
it's one of those.
yeah, he emailed me because he had like my contact information, and he was like, "Yo, what's the deal with this screenplay? It's the first script that's ever been sent to me that I laughed at that was actually supposed to be a comedy." And when we got talking, and he wanted to option it, and he flew me out to Hollywood to stay in his. He said his mansion. It was in Hollywood Hills, so I guess it's considered a
Yeah.
mansion, but really
Right.
it
Right.
looks no different than the house I
Yeah.
live in now.
Yeah.
But it's all about location.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and I spent a couple days out there, and it was just like a cool, like wild experience. And he had this screenplay for a couple years developing it. So many times we thought it was going to get made.
Damn.
Um, and it just like fell through for whatever reason, and like the re-option was about to come up, and he already told me, "Oh, I'm gonna re-up on this," and I was gonna get like some more money, so I was like excited about that because I believed in him. I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna like he like believed in my vision, and I believed that he was gonna do it. And like the option was coming up, it passed, I hadn't heard from him, and then
Oh
his
shit.
business partner called me up and said, "Hey, have you heard uh Zane lately?" And I was like,
Oh,
"No, I'm just waiting for that re-option to come up."
right.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen." He ran off ran off
Oh, damn.
with like her money. And that was the rights went back to me, but like the movie never happened. At one point I was developing it into like a graphic novel with
Mhm.
one of my friends, but it was such a that was like such a big part of my life for like 2 years. That movie, I think I rewrote it maybe like 20 times based off like feedback we were getting, and just like it was soul crushing when it didn't happen. And I was like, what am I doing? Like the internet became more prevalent at that time,
Right.
and like publishers had their guidelines on how to submit. And I was like, I'm just going to go back to comics. My friends and I, we can
Right.
make these, and we'll
Yeah.
just get them to publishers. And that's when we started working on Coney Waves, and we got that with Arcana Studio. And then I started working for Arcana Studio, and that was pretty much my failure as a screenwriter, which I only got into because I couldn't figure out how to break into comics, led to me finally breaking into comics.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Like taking an alternate route just to kind of
Uh-huh.
get to the place you wanted to.
Yeah.
And everyone always has a different story about how they got into comics at like that point. I mean, now everybody just crowdfunds their shit, right? But
Yeah.
back then, there's different routes that people took to get into the industry. I always find it
Yeah.
fascinating. It's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh man. I wonder I always wonder, like, if crowdfunding was around back then, like would things be different for me? Because my friend and I, when we created Coney Waves, we would always say, "Oh, if we had created it 10 years earlier, we would, ride that indie wave in the early 90s that like all these like all our heroes were doing."
you never really know, right? It's
Yeah.
always that what if. I got a question for you, man. You got a favorite metal band?
So my all-time favorite band is Motley Crue. I'm a huge
Nice,
80s fan.
nice.
So I love all those hair metal bands, but like as
Yeah.
far as current stuff, I really love Powerwolf.
Okay. Yeah. Did I see them? Oh no, I didn't see them live. It was another band. Um. Okay. Yeah. Powerful. That's dope. Yeah. I like some of the like for me. I really liked Guns N' Roses and then
Hmm.
Motley Crue was pretty cool for that style, and Van Halen. Like for me, those were like the best out of like
Yeah,
the hair metal,
yeah,
that type of metal. Um, heard some crazy stories about them, just like the whole coming up on the Sunset Strip and all those bands playing.
uh-huh.
A lot of inspiration actually. Like even like my next book I'm working on, like it's set in that era in that time,
Yeah.
like in Hollywood. That's pretty
So
cool, man.
it's crazy. Back in, I guess, 2012, I came up with an idea for a comic about Odin and his two sons, Thor and Loki, as a heavy metal band,
Oh,
and
nice, nice.
to do a behind the music style story about them. And I was like, well, I don't really have like the background in music, and I knew Jesse Snyder. Uh, we were MySpace friends. We had talked like on a MySpace like messenger for a while, uh, but MySpace was long gone by then.
MySpace is
And
awesome, dude.
oh, I loved
I,
MySpace. I
I
mean,
know everyone's like, damn, dude, they should bring that shit back. I think so
it,
too.
it still
Right?
is up. My page
Yeah.
is still like over there. But so I reached out to Jesse on Facebook and was like, "Hey, I have this idea. I know you have a music background. His dad's D. Snyder from Twisted Sister."
Nice.
And I pitched him the idea, and he was like, I pitched it to him at I told him if we could meet up at New York Comic Con. I was doing a Evangeline signing at the Image booth with Rob Liefeld, so I was like trying to like, you know, name drop and like say, hey, I'm doing these big things, you should work with me. And Jesse came by the booth and I talked to him and I pitched him my idea, and he loved it. And so we developed this story back in 2012 called at the time it was called Odin and the Gods of Rock. But
Nice.
you know, Jesse started giving his input and he was like, hey, can we give Odin like a nemesis? And I was like, sure. Who do you have in mind? And he was like, Jesus. And so
Oh man.
the story evolved into a battle of the bands between all these
Nice.
religions,
That's pretty crazy.
and the winning band becomes the dominant religion on Earth. So
Interesting.
yeah, so Jesus is like the reigning champion, and whenever he is like in danger of losing, his dad God shows up and tips the scales in his favor. So
Mhm.
like we worked on that for 12 years, and just a couple weeks ago, Jesse through his company Killer Rabbits launched it on Kickstarter.
Oh snap.
So
Damn.
yeah, so that's out there right now. It got funded in a couple days. So
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah. I would
yeah,
imagine.
if you're a music fan, a metal fan, or just a fan of like I don't know stuff like Monty Python's Life of Brian or This Is Spinal Tap, I think you would really love
Oh yeah.
King of Kings.
That sounds dope, dude. It sounds in the same like kind of genre of the book I'm doing right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's called Hell War, but
oh
it's
awesome.
about a Norse bounty hunter in the '90s that's trying to basically get his brother out of hell. Um,
Oh
and his brother's been there for thousands of years, and he works for the goddess of hell, Helnora, and he's got one more mission to do. It's like Robert Duvall in Falling Down. It's like that was my inspiration. He's got one more mission to do to get his brother out. Then his brother can go out. They can go bowling. They can go to the clubs. They can play metal. They could, they could do whatever. But he has to go and do this. But all the while, he's, in the beginning, he's fighting biker gangs in Death Valley, California. He's going to the rock. He's going to whiskey. He's fighting people there, and he's going all over. But yeah, so
no, that's
that
awesome.
sounds. But yeah, I mean, like it's like Lobo meets Thor and Hulk all kind of put together. Like that's what.
Oh, cool, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh fuck yeah. Um. So that's cool, man. Like I like the like some of your like inspirations and stuff like that. I was also wondering too, like as far as like the process in which you say you're gonna work with like an artist. You send him a script, or do you give him like thumbnails that you draw out yourself because you're a pretty damn good artist too? How is the process for that? If you mind, I'm
So
just process
I'm
junkie.
pretty so the thing I love about comic books is like the the idea of collaboration. So I'm not really uh very strict with my scripts. Like uh I don't really like tell them like where the camera's pointed or
Right, right.
anything like that. I leave it up to their interpretation, and like even like if they see something in the script and they're like, oh, what if we did it that way? If I like their idea better, yeah, we'll go for it, because I'd rather have a happy artist working on my book. Mike McMahon says a lot, uh our questions usually from him usually go, hey, can we turn this page into a double page spread? And my answer is, as long as the pages line up, because you don't want that double page spread to fall on the wrong page, because
Oh yeah,
then you have a problem.
yeah,
But
that's
no,
crazy.
I love all the artists I work with. Like, one of the best experiences I ever had was working with Owen Jenny on Evangeline. And if you never saw that Evangeline book, buy it for his artwork. He drew
Mm.
the most expressive faces and stuff, and he would just draw like a background character that I found so interesting
Yeah,
that I
right,
was like, this guy's becoming a player in the book. He's going to become a main
right.
character. And
But
he
no,
was like, what are
what
you
are you
doing,
talking?
Mark? Like, and I was like, no, you got to trust me. So like
Right.
he drew like some like homeless people, and I just loved their look so much. I made them like the four horsemen of apocalypse, but they were just hiding out on Earth as
That's
homeless
dope.
people.
It's pretty
And
metal.
and he thought that, like, when I pitched it to him, he was like, this is ridiculous. But then, as it started to develop, he was like, this is amazing. I
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
love this. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
Totally.
That's good, because your artwork inspired me."
Hell
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so um yeah, so to get back to your question, like, I've never, unless it's an absolute shot that I see in my head that, oh, we need this,
Gotta have it. Yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, then I'll like describe it in detail, maybe even draw like a real loose thumbnail, uh on a sheet of paper, and say, hey, this is what I had in mind. But usually the artist will take my idea and make it way better.
That's cool, man. That's fucking awesome. And like you're a good artist too, so you're like, I gotta, I have that right there. That's really cool, man. But another one of your, oh, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think like having an artistic background is good, because uh, I'm not the artist I want to be, but like the guys I work with are like the artists that I would like to be. So it's like, oh, I can't draw that, but they can, so I'll get
Yeah.
them to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome. Like, and one of the books too. I think I mentioned it. But I'm really looking forward to is a Viking Wolf, man. Are you guys working on Viking Wolf too pretty soon or?
So the script for Viking Wolf 2 is finished, and it's been finished for about a year. The
Ooh,
artists
sick.
on the first Viking Wolf were Matt Dalton and Renzo, and I'd love to have them both back. But Matt is dealing with some things, and he's not able to start the book. So
Cool. Okay.
I couldn't imagine doing Viking Wolf Book 2 without Matt.
Right.
In the
Right.
meantime, I love working with Renzo, so Renzo's drawing
Yeah.
Tony Waves with me.
Renzo's a
But
beast.
people keep asking about Viking Wolf,
Yeah.
and I want to do more Viking Wolf. So
I
I
love the
came up.
format too, the big one.
Oh, I
Like
love the
I love that
oversized
shit.
format. So
Yeah.
I came up with a story that can take place in between Viking Wolf books 1 and 2, and actually will start uh, at the end of U.S. Assassin 4,
Nice, man.
because Viking Wolf, Sea Dog, and Sea Dog guest star in U.S. Assassin 4, because it's the Dogs of War storyline, where
Yeah.
they team up
Yeah.
with Bazooka Dog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the end of U.S. Assassin 4, that will lead into uh, Viking Wolf Red Moon, Blood Moon Madness,
Oh man.
where
That's dope.
Viking Wolf takes on the entire haunted pizza universe,
Oh yeah,
and
that's what's up.
it'll be all my characters drawn by all the artists. They'll all do 10 pages.
Oh fuck yeah,
Some of
man.
these artists don't know this yet, but
Oh well, hey,
I'm gonna put them to work.
oh
Um,
dude, word
so
travels fast, dude, in CG and on the internet,
yeah, so
But that's a good thing.
10 pages by Mike McMahon, 10 pages by Renzo, 10 pages by Chris Graves, 10 pages by Greg Paulson. Um, and we'll keep going, and we'll put out a pretty awesome book. And I've been sitting on this Kenneth Rocafort Viking Wolf cover for a long time, and
Oh, nice.
I think that would be the perfect cover for it too.
Oh yeah, man. He's one of the to me like there's so many good artists out there, but he's one of the visionaries. I put him
Oh, I
up
think
there.
he's my favorite artist in comics right
Oh
now.
yeah,
Everything he draws is incredible.
yeah, dude. It's just kind of like so inspirational. Like even back before he joined CG and whatnot, like I was just picking up his Red Hood and the Outlaws, man, and just
Oh
his
yeah,
panel layout and his borders and his breakdowns. And I got one of his Red Hood toys in the garage, and just the way he would draw those little drawings in that little book that he had on Instagram. Oh
yeah,
man, it was really inspiring. I was
yeah. He's
wondering, man,
fantastic.
you got a favorite movie?
The Lost Boys.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
Yeah,
I was talking Falling Down. So what? You definitely know what Lost Boys. The Schumacher did both
yeah.
of those, huh?
Yeah, no, 1987, the summer of 1987, like some of the greatest movies ever, I think, came out. You had Lost Boys, you had Monster Squad,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
American Ninja 2. I think Lethal Weapon came out
Oh
that
yeah,
summer.
love
Yeah,
that first one.
just a incredible summer. But yeah, Lost Boys, I I just loved that movie. It was I don't know, I think even today it's still like the coolest movie ever. Like the vampires are cool. Uh the heroes, the Frog Brothers are cool. Like
Yeah, it's like a
it's just
comic, dude. It's
yeah,
like a
it's
straight up
just
horror comic. You know,
yeah, man. Plus like yeah, comics. Comics were a main part of the
the movie.
storyline
Yeah,
with Sam going to the Frog Brothers comic shop, and you don't know how long I looked for that Kill All Vampires
that
comics. I
yeah.
didn't realize it was
Where
just
is
a
it?
prop
Right, right.
for
Where is this shit?
and so instead I started buying Tomb of Dracula comics.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I need some sort of comic book that'll, teach me how to fight vampires if I ever have to.
Vampire hunting, man.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, that's a fun topic for comics. What was I gonna say? Yeah, that movie, like, because it's Santa Monica, right? I think it's
Hmm.
Santa Clara in there. But for
Yeah.
me, it was always so real. Because I live in Southern California, and Santa Monica
Hmm.
is like 20 minutes away. So when I saw that, I was born in '83, so I saw it kind of young, but I was just like, damn, dude, this is one of the most real kind of vampire movies, and like those
Yeah.
guys, they're in Hollywood, those guys are in Santa Monica walking around, like a lot of dudes look like that, so just like, when I was a young kid, it just seemed, and then you watch the whole movie and then there's that turn at the very end where it's the mom's boyfriend, and
Yeah.
the makeup was really good. He just turns around, it's real scary, and yeah, man, that movie's dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It
it was.
like when the VHS came out, I think I made a copy of it because I had two VCRs, and I
Oh yeah,
think I watched that like every day for I don't know. It seemed like the entire school year. I would just go home, put Lost Boys in,
yeah.
start my homework. It was incredible.
I remember the I had like part 2 and 3. I would just buy them just on general
Hmm.
principle. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't really like them too much, but I was like, I like the Lost Boys, So it's like, but I remember when they came out, I was just kind of like disappointed, like with the way they were, but I still got them,
Oh, yeah, same here.
like the thirst and
So
whatnot.
yeah, so they debuted those sequels at San Diego Comic Con back when I was working for Arcana. So I was able to like run away from the booth for a little while and hop in the line. So I got to meet the cast from the sequels. That they're not the greatest movies, but like I would take anything Lost
Yeah,
Boys just because I needed my fix. Um,
exactly. Me too. kind
yeah,
of like
like
that Kevin Smith thing, right? Like, just give it to me, motherfucker. I'm gonna die. Some like, no, I get it, dude. Like, totally. Like, I'm like that on a lot of things sometimes,
yeah,
where I just like just let's make this movie. I could die tomorrow. I want to see this character on screen at least
uh
once,
huh,
and hopefully you do it right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That I always get my hopes up too for stuff. I don't care. Like, and that's my number one thing. Don't get your hopes up for anything. I kind of live like that, but certain shit, I'm just like, I'll get my
Oh, you
hopes up
can't help
for it.
it. Yeah,
I don't care. So you got a new book out now, Writhe and Payne. Speaking of horror,
yeah.
this book's fucking smashing on two crowdfunding platforms right now. You got Chris Graves on there. He's killing it
Yeah.
on the pages. I have a the Indiegogo link up right now. If you like, I can share it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, 1 second. Yeah, man, I'm really digging the art on here, man. We talked about it a little bit on Horror Movie Club a few weeks back.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a project Chris pitched to me. Chris and I became friends like a year and a half ago. He reached out to me through Facebook. He saw I got back into to going to the gym and working out, and he didn't realize I was a Jersey guy. And he asked me if I wanted to like start working out with him on Sundays. At first I was like, why is this big guy like sliding into my DM? he hates when I tell this part of the story. But then I was like checking out his Facebook page, and I was like, oh, he's an artist. He's a good artist. Yeah, I'll work out with him. So we started talking. We started working out like every Sunday. We would talk comic books, and then he just sort of like, I was giving him cover work because I loved his stuff. And then he was like, I have this idea I've been kicking around, but I think I need a writer for it. And I was like, oh, really? And eventually, like he didn't want it to seem like he was like using me. That was his intentions of working out, like to get me to write his book. So so finally I was just like, hey, I would be interested in writing this book. The artwork looks amazing. And so we started working on it, and I brought my ideas onto it. And it's just like, we're both big Spawn fans and 90s comic fans. And this is like everything we love in in comics. But he's just killing it on the artwork. We've had some beautiful colors by Anthony George and Dan Kemp. I can't say enough nice things about this. I think it's like one of the nicest looking books I've done. And I worked with a ton of great artists, but like Chris is just, it's crazy. He's only started drawing like seriously for a few years because his work is outstanding.
Yeah, it's definitely like he's up there with just like all the guys that you were mentioning earlier, art wise, style wise, and skill wise, in my opinion. Fucking badass, dude. I'm just looking at all this art right here. You guys got a trailer. Is cool if I play it real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Nice.
Cool blood in chalice hands, to the dregs towards the end. Hard iron on top, the sun, the moon for rising sun.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I went on like a trailer kick. I got like some editing software recently and just like made like 3 trailers like in a week span.
Cool.
So there's other trailers on there if you want to.
Oh yeah, let's play them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sludgy right here. Summer of Pain. I like that. That's cool, man. That's some cool trailers you got there all lined up.
Thank you.
Hell
So
yeah.
for those that don't know, Writhe and Payne, it's our main character is Detective Sean Payne, and he comes from a long line of witch hunters. And when he's in his early 20s, he's assigned to kill a college-aged witch. However, instead of killing her, he falls in love with her, and marries her, starts a family. They have 2 daughters, and one day the oldest daughter goes missing. Detective Payne thinks it's linked to these other missing children cases in their town. He becomes obsessed with the case, starts neglecting his family. And just as he starts to put the pieces to this case and thinks, he's onto something, his youngest daughter develops her witch powers. So now young witch and former witch hunter have to team up to stop this evil that has, inhabited their town, as they try to find his missing daughter. It's a cool story. When Chris brought it to me, I started doing research because I like to have, some sort of like realism that I can latch onto. And I started doing, I knew I wanted to set it in New Jersey since we're both Jersey guys. So I was looking for like anything local for witchcraft or the occult.
Oh yeah.
And I found this story about a satanic cult in Vineland, New Jersey in the 70s, led by a high school student who believed if he killed himself, he would come back with these, supernatural powers. So he convinced his 2 friends to kill him, and they drowned him in a local lake.
Oh wow.
And I just like both horrified by it and then like just said,
Intriguing.
there's something here that I can use. And so it's cool that we can have like some sort of local legend or a little piece of realism to add to the book to make it that much more believable.
Oh yeah, totally, man. And then like I always think about like the Jersey Devil. Like a lot of people haven't explored that like that many times, at least I know of in comics. And that cryptid it predates the forming of the country, dude. It's like the oldest cryptid I think in America. And the story is fucking metal, dude. It's so brutal. I don't know if you guys are gonna go there in the future, but that would be dope. But I like this one. Like it sounds so fascinating. I always love it when you can pick from, modern history and just kind of put it in there. It's not too far away either. Got the Mike McMahon cover right there.
Yeah, Mike McMahon, colored by Enrico Botta.
That's dope, man. So much good art on here. Love that piece right there.
Yeah, we were fortunate. We got some variant covers by Kevin Conrad, who worked on Spawn and Kiss Psycho Circus back in the day, and then Kevin Keane, who's like the current cover artist for Spawn. Just real fortunate. And then like these killer interiors by Chris with colors by Anthony George from Graveyard Shift. So yeah, I couldn't imagine a nicer looking book. People are going to be blown away when they get this.
Oh yeah.
Like really this page right here, those eyes in the bottom panel are just like awesome.
Yeah, man. It's full of emotion.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary too. I love this shot right here too. I love the layout of the page.
Yeah, so this is like an important part of the story. This is when Detective Payne, his daughter traps him in that the mask is called the Suit of Sullen, and it basically binds him to her command. He becomes her slave.
Wow.
So this mask is like overtaking. It starts with his face, but soon it wraps around, and these like vine-like dreadlocks come out of it, and they're basically the thorns from the crown of Christ.
That's heavy, dude.
Yeah.
couldn't really get any heavier than that. I like we were talking about it a little bit before on the another show. I love how like the mask kind of evolves a little bit, right? Because right here, it looks a little different than its final form, I guess.
Yeah, it has like eye openings right here as it like starts to wrap around his face. But at one point in the story, he like almost levels up to like his true form. So this is an early look for him.
I think Chris dropped like a page with this mask like maybe about a week or two ago.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, it looks dope, dude. Looks like
Payne,
like,
that page was
primal form or earlier form, you know.
Yeah, that page was inked by Chance Wolf, who also worked on Spawn back in the day. Chance is doing some guest inks for us on this, so yeah, we're getting to work with some killers. And like speaking of like the whole team, Dexter Weeks doing the letters for us. The letters are awesome. Like trying to find balloons to give each character their own like signature.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Is awesome.
Like Spawn would do that a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's always cool too because you always know who's speaking because they all have their own respected letter bubble design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, dude.
And then Chris made some of his artwork available for the campaign.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like that double page spread right there, that's the artwork from our black light poster that we're offering. So lots of cool pieces. Just before we went live, I put 3 sketch cards up on the campaign. Oh, that's the page you were talking about. That's available for sale.
That's dope. And I like the layout too. It's like a splash layout page.
Yeah.
Or, both. It's dope.
Yeah, Chris
love
is
the
just
trading
killing
cards too, man. Those trading cards are awesome.
Yeah, those are the sketch cards that we just added. But we do have a trading card set that you can add on to your order. 9 different artists drawing their versions of Writhe and Payne.
Sweet. Gotta have the sketch cards, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have them up on there. Seems like, right? For every book nowadays. People like them.
Yeah.
Got the Ouija board.
Yeah, we got a Ouija board. Someone on Twitter suggested, like I said, what should we do for the campaign as add-ons or stretch goals? And someone said, everyone does prints and trading cards. Actually think about what your story is about and try to find something that would work in that universe. And I was like, oh, a Ouija board would be really cool. And
you know what I would like to see? This is dope. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally 100%. I would also like to see maybe one day, like a few years down the line, hopefully you guys are still doing the book, like a Bible, like a bestiary within it too, where you got all the characters.
That'd be cool.
And, you know what I mean? Kind of like the Spawn one, but maybe like even because nowadays we could do cooler stuff than that even,
Oh yeah.
Like printing wise, But yeah, dude, I love that shit. This is cool, man, though, the Ouija board. That's
thank you.
Yeah. On the Slam Buddy.
yeah, we got a plush Payne Slam Buddy. If you're a fan of wrestling from back in the early 90s, this was the inspiration. Those WWE wrestle buddies. Yeah, Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Trading card set right there.
Yep.
That's cool. And then you got the 6 a.m. magnet.
Yeah, that was our first stretch goal. We unlocked that. Since then, we've unlocked 2 more stretch goals, and we're closing in on that $20,000 stretch goal. I think we're like maybe $1,400 away. So
that's awesome. You want to go over some of these tiers real quick?
Sure. So our featured tier is the Payne Pack. That gets you Chris Graves cover, Kevin Conrad cover, Kevin Keen's cover, Mike McMahon's cover, the oversized black and white edition, which is, you're a fan of Viking Wolf. It's the same format as Viking Wolf.
Oh, nice.
And it comes with the 9-card trading set plus a 10th card, which is a Kevin Conrad foil card. And Chris will do a sketch inside the black and white edition of the book.
Hell yeah.
And then all the books are available separately. The different covers, Chris's cover, Kevin Conrad, Kevin Keen, Mike McMahon cover, all available for $25 each.
Nice.
And then we got the sketch cards available for $35. You know, if
It's a
you
good
want
deal.
some, if you want some original artwork, you know, that's a great price.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, he's coming up in the scene now too. And he's a badass artist, and these are, I don't know if these are his first sketch cards. You know what I mean? They were.
Yeah, no, I actually
Probably,
think they
you know.
they are. He did some in the when we launched the campaign, he offered 10 11 by 17 sketches for $75
Damn.
because and they went in minutes. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we got the
That's dope.
oversized black and white edition for $40, and then you can get a combination of the black and white and cover of your choice for $60. Save $5
Oh,
for
okay.
getting that.
The different ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. All those.
Yep. And then the 4-pack of the variant covers for 100, and then the 4 regular covers, and then the oversized black and white edition for 140.
Nice.
And then we got a lot of original artwork still available. A trading card by Stephen Strange for 150.
Nice.
That awesome page of
Yeah.
Chris's 350. The black light poster, which is an add-on, you can get that original artwork for 400.
This goes good on that on the wall in the living room, man. Just get in some
Yeah.
nice frame, you know.
And then that double page spread, which is pages 2 and 3 of the book, which is probably like the most shared page from the campaign so far, because that's where you get like Writhe and Payne. You first
Together.
see them.
Yeah, gothic shot, you know, where it's big and robust and everything's coming at you. That right there would go good over a fireplace.
Oh yeah, and you get Chris's pencils for that.
Oh, nice.
But it comes with a linen print of Chance Wolf's inks, so you can have, you know, the inks next to the pencils when you display them.
That's cool, man. You can even do like a gallery of it.
Yeah,
the whole section.
And then we sold out of a couple pieces of artwork.
Well, you heard it, folks. Get over here and get some of this cool artwork. And then also we have the we have another Fund My Comic one. Check that out right now too.
Yeah, Fund My Comic. Hats off to Luke Stone, man, for creating this site. You know, my books have been shadow banned. Maybe,
oh yeah, dude.
I might be the most shadow banned creator. Like, I think for my last 4 projects, they didn't get Writhe and Payne only because we put it under Chris's name. There's something with my name that they don't like me over there. So we have Fund My Comic
in the Polton business no more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Fund My Comic, dude. Like, hopefully they're still around when I launch my book. That's my plan. I just want to go with.
They've been great, now. And they like actively promote Writhe and Payne, and like you get the money, like you don't have to wait till the end of the campaign. I've been getting like deposits like every couple of days or whatever. Yeah. So we wanted to do something for them, and I had the idea to do an exclusive cover for them. So Chris originally did this piece just as a promotional piece, and I was like, man, this is really good. And people really seem to love it. I think it's the head tilt on Payne. Yeah. Like it gives them that like slasher, that Jason, Michael Myers type vibe. And I was like, you know, I think that's the best. That should be a cover, and I think it's the best cover. Let's give it to Fund My Comic. You know, because they sort of like you know, recruited us. They were asking me to come on their site and launch something. So it was like, let's do something cool for them. So we gave them this exclusive cover, and there's some other perks you can get here as well, like the trading card set and the black and white edition. But yeah, we wanted to do something special for them. And honestly, I've been blown away by the support on Fund My Comic. Like, we're closing in on 100 backers for a variant cover, over $4,000. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah, combined we're over $18,000, closing in on 20,000. So yeah, it's been my most successful book in about a year and a half. Well, book not named Graveyard Shift in a year and a half. So
yeah, I love me some Graveyard Shift too. That's that's dope, man. That like you could do that. And this Fun My Comic, it's only like 5 months old now, I think. So it's,
Yeah.
imagine next year, or like if you do Writhe And Payne 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once more people kind of jump over here.
Yeah, you hear different creators they're starting to take notice to Fund My Comic. I think Ethan said he's going to do his Links book exclusively on Fund My Comic, so that should give
Yeah.
the platform a lot of exposure.
It needs to get hit. Like, needs to get like a big campaign to just break it real quick, so they can figure out all the bugs and fix it. It needs to get like a massive, you know what I'm talking, like a juggernaut campaign to break it.
Yeah.
I will break you, kind of like Payne,
Uh-huh.
And then, it just has to happen. And then it'll just be even, once that happens, dude, it's going to open the floodgates. They're going to know all the bugs, and then you'll get more people over here, and it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're already getting some great creators, Mike Barron, Kelsey Shannon over there. So yeah, more and more people are taking notice of Fund My Comic.
Hell yeah. We got the oversized edition over here. The top, we have the exclusive cover. You already got 74 backers on that one, huh?
Yeah.
And you got that one.
So originally that's all I was offering, and people were like, "Oh, can we get this? Can we get the trading cards?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do everything." What do you want? I got it. Hell yeah, dude. Because some people, like, they're just like, they only want to come on here now. There's some customers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just hard sometimes to kind of to know, like, to get the, like, who's coming over here, and like who's more vocal about it and who's actually doing it,
So the one thing I do want to mention, anyone, if you back Fund My Comic, you're still going to get all the stretch goals from Indiegogo.
Nice.
I'm combining both campaigns as one campaign. So like,
that's smart.
When they're combined reach $20,000, that's when they'll get the next trading card, and we'll keep it going. Because I said we're going to fulfill this in February of 2024. Chris is already, like, I think 40 pages in, so he only has like 20 some left. So I think we're going to fulfill a lot sooner than February, but there's still plenty of time to back it, so we can add even more stretch goals to the campaign, hopefully.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, there's just there's still a lot of people over at Indiegogo too, that are still waiting to come over. That's why I think sometimes it's kind of important, especially if you're like, got a big clientele over there and backers and fans and whatnot. It's it's a slower transition period right now. Gotta
and honestly, like,
dude,
since the campaign's under Chris's name, I honestly don't have any complaints on the Writhe And Payne campaign over there, because it's visible and it's doing well for us.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like, I don't know what's up. Like, they just shadow ban people and stuff. Like, I still have Butch Cleaver up on there. I luckily didn't get it taken down. I got gore all over the front page and everything.
Yeah, so I originally I originally was going to release Writhe And Payne under my name on Indiegogo, and I released the mailing list, and they shadow banned the mailing list, and I was like, "Oh, I feel like it's me that like my name is triggering this." So I was
probably
like, Chris, we need to come up with a plan B.
Yeah. Yeah, probably, man.
Yeah, I got on an undesirable list or something.
Right. You got the black and white edition right here with the trading card set. That's awesome. And then you got the cover right there.
Yeah, you can get that exclusive cover, and again, that's Chris's pencils, and it'll come with a linen print of the inks, because the inks were done digitally. So you get 2 pieces you can hang up side by side.
That's dope. Maybe even learn to ink it. So there's some cool stuff on here, guys. Come check it out. I personally would come over here and back it. That way, we could support Luke, and we could support Chris and Mark over here, and then get a fatter cut. But yeah, come check it out, folks. Yeah, man. That's some awesome artwork on there. It's inspiring. Makes me want to go pick up a pencil and start drawing. What up, Pops?
Hey, Pops.
What up, Jason? Yeah, dude. I need to back it too, man.
Thank
You're
you.
not the only one. There's a bunch of books I need to back. I just haven't been able to do it at the moment. Yeah, the one on my comic. Yeah, yeah, man. You got a favorite beer, man, that you drink?
No, I'm not the biggest drinker. The only
Yeah,
time I really drink is like when we launch a book. So I was drinking
party.
some. I forget what I was drinking. I just search for the can that what has the coolest artwork on the can. So
That's what I do now. When I do I do a little book reviews. I don't even
yeah,
like look for taste. I just like try to line up something like conceptually with the
yeah.
review. But
So
I like the dark stuff mostly.
when we launched Writhe and Payne, I got like a 6-pack of this. I forget what it was called, something Ranger, but it had
Okay.
this
Voodoo
cool
Ranger.
pilot.
Yeah, Voodoo Ranger. That's it.
Yeah, Voodoo Ranger. Yeah, so it was just a cool artwork. I was like, all right, I'll get that.
Yeah, they got like 6 different flavors, I guess, and those some of them are pretty strong too.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. I got the fruit punch.
I haven't tried that one yet. That sounds interesting. A lot of
Yeah,
people are drinking those seltzers now, or seltzers. Like I don't know. I'm not really into them that much.
yeah.
Yeah, I like to have a beer usually like Thursdays when I do this show in the horror movie club. Just kind of chill out and have a beer, because I'm working every day basically, so it's cool to kind of chill out and have a beer. But yeah, man. You got anything else lined up after like directly after this book, another property that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm going to launch one more book this year. I'm going to launch U.S. Assassin 4,
Nice.
Dogs of War, and that's where Viking Wolf and Sea Dog team up with Bazooka Dog. It also guest stars my childhood hero, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
And
there's gonna be any They Live references in there, dude? That'd be sick, man.
You can expect.
At least maybe the fight scenes with him and
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr. Like maybe they can kind of fight in that alley. You know what I mean? All fucking 4 of them.
You can
You could be like,
expect like some.
I think I've been here before. I don't know why. This place looks familiar.
So we're doing U.S. Assassin 4, and then next year I'm gonna try to not do as many campaigns because I feel like maybe I was cannibalizing my own sales by doing so many campaigns. So next year, look for Universal's Initiative, which is a book John Malin and I did a decade ago that was never released. I acquired the rights to that.
Fuck yeah.
Then I have a Rob Liefeld cover for it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, the prototypes are done. Hopefully a U.S. Assassin action figure campaign.
Oh yeah, that would be sick, dude. So
Yeah.
you're gonna kind of whittle it down, maybe like doing like how many 2 or 3 a year now, or something like that.
Like two to three. I mean, ideally, if Chris could draw a Writhe and Payne book a year, I would love to do a Writhe and Payne book every year.
Yeah.
And then like it all depends like where my artists are at. Like if I could
hard.
get if I could get that Viking Wolf Blood Moon Madness book out there, I would do it. So like I want to keep it scaled down to like maybe no more than 3 campaigns a year.
That's a solid number though. That's pretty solid too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's still a lot,
Yeah.
But it's good though,
I was burning myself out. I think like I did like 6 campaigns a couple of years, and I was like, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah, I could see that, and you could kind of make them big launches. That's almost like every season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the 4 seasons, and you got the 3 books, but then kind of break them up in and then they have the 2 months and stuff. That's pretty dope, man.
It's amazing when John and I launched Graveyard Shift 6 years ago. I remember being so nervous. I was like, "How are we going to get $5,000 to do this? What happens when we don't get that money?"
Yeah,
and we were funded in like 10 minutes. Then like honestly, my life's changed since then. Like as far as like making comics, I can, I wouldn't say I can do whatever I want, but like I can do almost like
certainly
whatever.
try it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have
I
that
could
ability
definitely
now to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. The Graveyard Shift, I mean, you guys are sitting on a fucking dope ass concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
You know,
I
it kind of
remember
sells
like
itself.
when we launched that, someone said, "Oh, that's what Universal should have did with their Universal Monsters relaunch, like
Yeah,
an updated version of it."
yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I mean that was my inspiration for Graveyard Shift, Universal Monsters, but as a superhero team. My idea was as like the Justice League, but when I pitched it to John, John was like,
X-Men, right?
yeah, he was more like, let's do an X-Men them as terrorists, and I was like, oh, that is a lot cooler. So
Kind of makes more sense. It makes it more
yeah,
monstrous, I would say.
yeah,
You know, but
like
that sounds dope though, dude. I ain't gonna lie. The Justice League. I mean, but I'm a fucking Universal Monster stan, so I'm gonna like,
yeah,
I mean, like the Demeter. Like I was saying, the Demeter. We're kind of circling back around. I think with that movie, like me and Brian talk about this, but that movie, if it's done successfully, that movie could relaunch the Dark Universe again. You know what I mean?
right.
I think if they basically make the first 2/3 of the movie scary as fuck, and then deliver the monster at the end every time, and do it with low budget, that they're on a good path. Because this is going to be like the fourth relaunch to try to bring back the Universal Monster universe. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
hopefully it works. I don't think Renfield's going to do it. That movie was fun, but it's not. I don't know. It was, to me, that movie was like watching Crank with Dracula in it. Like it was like a Neville Dean and Taylor movie. But yeah, man. Jason was saying that I think 3 years is the ideal amount most of us would like to strive for. Yeah, I think 3 would be cool. Like if I was in a publisher / writer, like showrunner, capacity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool. Like for me, for me as an artist writer, like doing everything, I'm doing every 2 years if I'm lucky, for sure. But I think like that, and I think a lot of us would like to be doing that. Like for me, I would like to be putting out 3 books a year and drawing one of those. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah,
you guys
I mean,
drawing too, man. You
like
guys start drawing, dude.
You asked, well,
those trading
oh,
cards and
maybe
the
like
and the covers and shit. That'd be awesome, dude.
But yeah, like when we started this conversation, like if I was like an artist, like I would be in the same boat, like maybe a campaign every 2 years, just because it's such a long process to do it all. So no, like my favorite creators are the guys that do it all, like the Liefelds, the McFarlanes, those image guys. So
he was trolling McFarlane the other day on Twitter, dude. You see that?
Who was
like, not really, but I mean, he was fucking with him. Liefeld, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna want to take some of your own advice and draw your own book. Everybody wants to see that shit done in 20 years.
I love Rob, but I think I feel like he might be a little jealous of Todd's success.
Yeah, it would be cool though, man. Like for me, like I'm really interested like in the artist's perspective of their own work if they're drawing it, and a lot of times too when I'm buying a book, like I like to buy their cover too sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just kind of like weird like that. I think Pete Samedi's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a while, like your boy Zach did a cover, I'd buy his shit too.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm really into that, dude. Like I think it's cool too because you see it's all from their head, the story and the drawings and everything. I'm not saying that my favorite artist of all time isn't going to come in and draw something for it too, though.
Right.
But it's very interesting to me. I'm really into that stuff. I think it's cool. Jason says I could feasibly put out 2 a year if it was my sole job. Black and white though. Yeah, I'm only doing black and white, Jason, myself going forward. That's all I'm doing now. Just because coloring is time consuming. That takes longer than the pencils and the inks and the thumbnails. The flatting and the rendering and the special effects and the coloring and the lighting and the shades and all that takes a long time, dude.
Oh, a good colorist is in demand.
Like,
I love using Anthony George.
Yeah, he's good.
John Malin likes using Anthony George. Marat Michaels likes using Anthony George. So.
Yeah, and it's hard to find people out there too. And then AI is coming around the corner, and a lot of people are a big fan of it too. And there's a lot of things you could probably do, even for you, like when you're coming up with ideas. Like for, I don't know, I could easily use it. Like I need this character, and I could name 10 things to put in there, and that looks dope. I could take that and redraw it the way I want to do it, but fuck that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm anti AI.
Yeah.
I'm just full on OG, like organic, human, all natural, like
Yeah.
comic book art. I want to see all the blood, sweat, tears, coffee, cigarette smoke,
Yeah.
stained
No,
up, white out art.
I'm old school too. I mean, plus I love having original artwork too for my books. So
right. Totally, man. Well, shit, man. Thanks for coming on, Mark. It was awesome, dude. We got to do it again sometime. Maybe when you launch your next book, if you want.
Yeah, it's always great talking
Cool.
with you.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks a bunch, and thanks everybody that came over and watched the show. I really appreciate it. Let's see right here. AI can be good when used as a proper tool, like a PS, like Photoshop and such. Yeah. But I'm just totally like anti still. But I understand. Have a great one, y'all. You too, man. Thanks, Jason, for stopping by. Thanks to everybody else, Chris, everybody else that's stopped by and who's going to be catching the replay. And always remember, folks, to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.